Hi everybody, welcome back to Alpine Projects Garage. Got another video here. All right, so what are we doing here? I'm gonna make some improvements to this workbench that I built a long time ago, and it's kind of overdue for some improvements. To get it to move around, because it's small, so it's mobile, we're going to install these workbench casters that will allow me to lift it up and move it around the garage super easy. I think that'll be a good improvement to what it is now instead of shoving it around and making all that racket. All right, let's see what we can do. I found this kit on Amazon and it comes with everything you need. For anyone interested, I'll leave a link in the video description below. The kit came with a template that made it easy to locate where I needed to drill the holes on the workbench legs. This is important because the casters have to be placed at the right spot to ensure they lift the workbench properly. I used a punch to transfer the hole locations from the template to the legs. And then drill the pilot holes. I marked the depth with a piece of tape to ensure I didn't drill too far. I really need to look into getting a bit driver. Screwing in all these by hand can take a while, and it gets tiresome after a while. Assembly of the bracket is pretty simple. I did have to refer back to the instructions a couple times to make sure I was installing some of the pieces in the right orientation. Okay, let's see if these work. It works pretty good. So these workbench casters worked out pretty good. I'm impressed so far. Hopefully they hold up. Only time will tell as far as that goes. So I wonder what else I could do to this workbench. I think it'd be really neat to be able to bring power wherever the workbench is. Now that I can take it, you know, say from inside the garage to outside the garage, it'd be great to maybe hook up some sort of extension cord. Let's see what I can do.
I've had this power cord reel for several years, and it's always come in handy. I think it'll really work out well being a permanent part of the bench.
Alright, so I've got where I want to mount this power cable to. These 2x4s. It'll put it in a good position. I'm using these hose clamps or pipe clamps to kind of go around the base and clip it in there. But you can see there's a little bit of play. There's a gap in there. I need to see if I can find something to fill that gap. Maybe some sort of piece of rubber or something. So, gotta look around the garage and see what I can find.
Looking around the garage, I found these reusable water balloons my kids had left laying around. I figured if I cut them up to use the rubber as a gap filler, they'd work out pretty well. Plus, this means my kids can no longer lob water balloons at me. I really need to invest in a bit driver.
Hey, now I've got power here. This is a 50-foot extension cord, so I can go out 50 feet. This is fused power, so it's got some protection. 4 outlets. Aha! Nice. Okay, so now we can roll this with ease. We've got power. There's still one more thing I'd like to do that will help add some functionality to this workbench. I'm going to add a shelf right here so that I can put some tools on it, take them to wherever I'm going with the bench, or just to store things.
To help support the shelf, I installed some extra bracing using a 2x4. I had this plank of pine just sitting around. I figured this would be a good use of it. I always try to be very careful whenever I'm working with power tools. As a general rule, I'll never drink when using them, and I'm always very conscious of where my fingers are. However, I wasn't expecting what happens next. I was supporting the plank too far from the cut, and the wood bound into the blade, causing it to kick back. You can see where I gouged the wood. My life flashed before my eyes. Well, not my life, but considering the direction the saw was thrown towards, it was more like this flashing before my eyes. Let's just move these sawhorses closer and learn from that mistake. Here's the shelf installed. I just screwed it down with some wood screws. To protect the wood, I applied several coats of polyurethane. It was left over from when we refinished our dining room table. Check that video out when you get a chance. I'll drop a link to it. I put poly on the underside just to make sure the exposed wood was protected. With the polyurethane dry, it was time to load it up. Here I am loading up some toolboxes, my reciprocating saw, and my drill. The black toolbox is full and probably weighs more than 50 pounds. And now to see if the casters will lift the bench with all this weight.
All right, well now I'm all done with the improvements I've made to my workbench. Now I've got the ability to roll it wherever I want to. I've got power to any tools that I need to power right here within 50 feet range of an outlet. And I've got a shelf that I can put my toolboxes on and some tools on. So I think I've increased how well this thing is going to suit me in the future by quite a bit. So there you go, that's the video. If you liked it, hit the like button, and if you would support the channel, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see what we can do to get more videos done. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.